Factoring when you have a binomial is a little more complex. Part of what you're doing when you factor here, you're going to pull out things from both of the terms. So you will pull out from like the items here, but you'll also pull out from the items here. So you're really looking for something that goes into the 4 and the 12, something that goes with the x squared and the x, and so on. Typically we're interested in the greatest one in common. So the way I do this is think about, first let's think about the numbers. Greatest thing in common between these is 4. Then we next look at the greatest thing in common in the variables. Now I have an x squared and an x, so the greatest thing in common is just x. Then we look at the y variables. We have y to the 3 and y to the 5. The greatest thing in common is y to the 3. So this represents the greatest common factor. And now basically we divide that into the two terms that we have. So when we divide 4 by 4 we get 1. X squared by x leaves us with x. Y cubed divided by y cubed. That's all that's left there. When we divide 4 into negative 12 we get negative 3. X into x, they divide out. Y to the third into the y to the fifth, there's y squared. This is what is called factoring when we're looking at a binomial of this type. Here's the greatest common factor, and this is the other factor. If we were to distribute these, we would obtain the original goal. Let's try another one here. Once again, I've got, in this case, a binomial, and I'm looking to factor it. What that means is to find two things that multiply to this. The easiest way to factor this is to pull out the greatest thing in common. 2 is the greatest thing in common between the 10 and this value here of 2. The next thing I would look at is the x values. I have x to the 5 and x to the 3, so x to the 3 is the largest, greatest common thing there. Finally, I would look at the y values of y squared and y to the 4th. We're going to go y squared. What this is the greatest common factor. Now, to get the other factor that would multiply with this one, we divide it into both of those terms. 2 into 10 is 5. X to the 5th divided by x to the 3rd is x squared. And the y squareds divide out. In the next one, negative 2 divided by 2 would be negative 1. X to the 3 into x to the 3 leave us with no more x's, and then y squared into y to the 4th is y squared. These two are the factors. This is the first factor, this is the second factor. Why are they factors? Because if I multiply them together, they will give me the original term.